All right, folks, we're going to take a quick look at practice from the other night. This was from Tuesday night. We did that rolling 1 minute start, and here we go with Balin setting up here, down here at the boat end of the line. 30 seconds ago, he didn't like his position, so he bails out of there. Goes racing across Mia's bow, and Mia's a lured boat. She could either hold him up or just let him go. And in this case, she let him go. You got Mia and you've got Emma right here in 1. They're kind of looking like a pretty good spot right now. If you look at 7, though, you can see that she's bow down on 1. She wants to pull the trigger and get a little bit closer to the line, get up, at least bow even with her. 4 and 6 up here at this end of the line. And 2 looks pretty good all of a sudden, now doesn't, right? They tacked over to port and did 2 really slow tacks right there. That's no good, right? Now, when we end up with is just a slow start. You can see the fleet extending on her. All right, so let's look at the next set. Again, we're going to jump in about 30 seconds to go until the start. Actually, I think what we're going to end up doing is watching these guys all come back. We'll see what this looks like in the next start. But if you think about what's going on there, you had Mia, who's down towards the pin end of the line, bowed down. And what that means, what I mean by that is that her bow was even with the middle of the boat just above her. That means that the boat above her is blocking all of her wind. That's never any good at all. So what we're going to try to do is we really want to pull forward on the line, at least make our bows even, or just a little tiny bit out forward of the bow above you. Excuse me. Here we go. We're going to get ready to go in this starting sequence. I think we're at about 10 seconds ago. And you see all these boats tacking on to starboard at 10 seconds ago. That's no good. You want to be 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. And that was a much better start from me, or from Sophia at the boat end of the line. Full speed, looking pretty good. All right, so now we're going to roll into the next set of sequence. And here we go. We're at about 25 seconds to go until the start. You got a different vantage point. This is Emma up here towards the boat. Looks like you've got Brady in the laser. You've got a couple other boats. Here's Mia. I'm really kind of hollering at her to get up on the line. Get up on the line. She's the lured boat in that case. Really want to focus on getting up on the line, making sure that you bow out on all those guys. Here we go in the next set of sequence. But this time we're going to take a look at it from the pin end of the line. You can see Mason coming back at us on starboard. He's kind of the target right now. It looks like 5's going to attack underneath them. 2's going to attack underneath them. In this case, see how close they are to the line? There really is no place for them to go to get out of the way. He went up on the line, and both he and Baylor are both over in that case. So that's no good. We definitely want to make sure that we've got a little bit of gap below the line, that when we come up on the line, we can actually slow the boat down. Here's another vantage point, this time a little bit further up on the line for us. Looks like everybody's going to crowd the boat end of the starting line in this case. Oh, actually, here's your pin end of the line. So actually, we're just tiny bit below the line, and we're holding for 30 seconds. This is the hold for 30 seconds drill. And here we go. At 10 seconds, you'll see everybody trim in. The one thing that we don't notice, though, is the acceleration right away. Here we go, and we're going to get trimmed in here in a couple seconds. Here we go. There's the mains coming in, jibs coming in. There's no big dip to leeward on 1, and then we go back to flatten in Mason's boat on number 4. 3, 2, 1, go. Look at Emma's acceleration on 3. 2, Sophia did a great job. But here we go. We're looking at these boats down here to leeward of everybody else. 1 and 5 and 7. We really want to make sure that we're pushing the line, get up on the line, at least bow even with the boats above you. Those are super important key ingredients to a good start. Definitely don't want to be bowed down on anybody, especially the boats above you. All right, this time I think we're going to go upwind a little bit on this one. You can see Mason holding the fleet up a little bit on starboard tack. You've got, looks like Emma just above him. And I think she's going to be over here. In fact, if I'm not wrong, I think this is the one where I actually turned to her and said, I think you're over. And she was over by 2 boat lengths. She's over now. And I think she just heard me say, you're over. There we go. There we go. We're focusing on the laser, right? We want to trim. Give that big dip to leeward and then flatten it out really hard. There we go. Looks good. Everybody looks good there. We're going to jump into the next one. This time we're going to go back up to the boat end of the line and take a close look at this one. All right, here we go again. Look at the distance between. Now, this one is probably too far down, right? If you look at Sophia and you look at Balin, they're really far down on the line. Maybe a boat length and a half, 2 boat lengths. In fact, so much so that Balin has an opportunity to tack and then tack back again. They're so far below the line. There's Mason, and if I looked at this down the line, I would say that he's about a half a boat length below the line. He's dipping low, blow the jib out to make sure that he's got some distance to come up with. And now he's going to hold his position on the line right there. You can see that he's holding down here a little bit further down the line, maybe about the middle of the line. Balin's holding his spot right here at the boat end of the line. See how both sails are out, but they're in that loaded position, right? He's a little bit below close hauled. So when it's time to go, he can bear off, pull the sails in, and accelerate down the line. Holding his position. You don't want to scull back and forth. You can do it one side of the center line or the other side of center line, but you don't want to scull back and forth. Here's the 10-second gun. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and away we go. And you can see Seven's way over the line again because she's set up too close to the line. All right, here we go. Pin end of the line this time. I'm going to take a look at this one. Again, we're at about 35, 40 seconds, so... Nope, I take that back. Here we go. We're going to 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. And this is the one that Emma's really over. I looked at her and she's over. I mean, I think that Emma Friedauer is on the line. Emma Hershey is over by a mile. That's okay. In the drills, that's no big deal. But we're going to go upwind and we're going to watch these guys sail upwind. If you look at 6, see how far out their main is? Don't want that. We want to pull those sails in tight. Brady looks good in his full rig laser. Emma's cruising right over top of him. The one thing I would notice, if you notice between all these boats and all these butts on these boats, there's a gap between them. You want to make sure that you're squeezing together all the time. You want to sit close to each other. That means the crews drift aft a little bit. The drivers scoot forward, and they are up against that crossbar. Here comes a random boat across our view, but they'll be out of the way shortly. And there's Matthew Few, capsized and turtled over there to the distance. But here we go. We're going to watch these guys come upwind, and if you notice, the one thing that I would say is that everybody's doing a pretty good job of keeping the boat flat, but you notice a little bit of heel, right? We don't want the boats to heel at all, especially when we've got good breeze to work with. We really want to work on keeping the boat flat. So we're going to keep the boat flat by using the main and really working on our boat weight, getting our butts way out over the rail to make sure that those boats stay flat. Here comes Emma Friedauer coming across on port. Working really hard right there. That's good. That's good work on her part. Balin and his crew, Bobby, you need to scoot your butt outboard a little bit and get out of the boat, right? You want to make sure that you guys are really hiking hard. Here comes Mason with a good tack underneath here. Good tack and good trim back in and a flatten right after the tack. This is pretty good. We're going to stop here in a minute and we're going to let everybody round us and then head back downwind. And we'll talk a little bit about transitioning out of the mark, because that's a big important thing too, right? We want to make sure that we're going as fast as we can upwind, but when we turn the corner, we want to make sure that we transition from a close hauled course all the way down to that dead downwind course as quickly as we can. So we're going to go upwind a little bit further, and then we'll stop and we'll tell them all to round us. Here we go. We've stopped and we're ready for them to come up to us and approach us. So here comes Emma on port. Mason's going to tack onto port as well, just hipped up on her. It looks like Emma Hershey is just below them. So let's look at these 3 boats coming upwind, and you can see them really working hard. I think the boat on the right might be working a little bit harder than the other 2. Look at how flat they are. Here comes a little puff there. We're going to really hike out hard. Look at Caden really working hard on keeping the boat flat. Looks like Emma Hershey and Emma Friedauer are both working really, really hard to keep that boat out. We'll watch that main go out on Mason's boat. He's getting ready for the tack. He's coming around me. And here he goes. And here comes Emma Hershey. Good tack. Get that jib around. There you go. And trim hard. Perfect. Here comes Balin and Bobby. Looking pretty good here. All right, Sophia looks like she's kind of laid off a little bit because her main's out, right? If they're just sitting on the rail in this much breeze, that means that your main is way too far out. You pull that main in and keep the boat powered up quite a bit before tacking off onto that ley line, right? Look at how far out her main is right now, and the jib's out way too far. It means either that she's what it means is that she overstood. She sailed way too much extra distance. And the same goes true here, right? Look at how far out the mainsail is on this in this case. And the jib's going to be eased out. The boat's heeling over. I mean, we're sailing extra distance. This is what we really don't want to be doing, right? There's no reason for us to sail extra distance. In this case, you want to nail that port tack ley line. Tack as soon as you get to it. As soon as the mark is behind your boat, that's when you want to go. I think we've got one more up and down that we're going to look at here in just a couple seconds. But again, everybody's doing a really good job on keeping the boat heeled over to windward, kiting the boat downwind. Keeping the boat flat going upwind. So here we go again. This is our last one that I think we're going to look at. Let's see here. I lost my bearings here. It looks like Mason and Caden are out here to the right. Looks like it's Emma Hershey in the middle, and then it looks like it is Liam and Graham here in 6. Going upwind. So we'll keep an eye on them. But if it's not perspective, look at how much difference there is in the point between these boats. You can see the boats on the right-hand side pointing a little bit better than the boats on the left-hand side. And it's all related to the amount of mainsail trim that they have. If you look at the Mason and you look at, looks like Balin up here off to the far right, those guys really have their mains pulled in tight. They're really working on keeping the boat stuffed up into the wind. The boats that are further down have those mains eased out a little bit, and that doesn't really help us out at all. So that's it for me. I hope you guys got something out of that, and we'll do it again next time.